Right, understanding peroxides. Here we go. Now I've got a range of different peroxides here. They all tend to do the same things. A lot of manufacturers would recommend that if you're using L'Oreal, that you use a L'Oreal peroxide with it. But I find that most hairdressers will probably just tend to go for the cheapest peroxide, the home brands. Okay, so I've got some cheap, I've got L'Oreal, yet again cheap, and then that's L'Oreal as well. Here I've got some cheap bleach, and here I've got the Wella Perfecton, which is the /8, which is a must-have when doing bleach highlights or bleach toning. So let's just go through this. This is a 10 volume, which is 3%. What this bottle does, this doesn't lighten hair at all. It's the lowest strength that you could get, which just deposits hair colour. So say for example you were staying the same colour or going darker, then yes, I would use this. However, it doesn't cover grey. So if you want to cover grey, then you're going to need to go up one to 20 volt or 6%. Okay, this here, this is the most popular one, the 6%, because it does a range of things. It covers grey, it also darkens hair, and it also lightens hair 1 to 2 shades. It doesn't have a brain, it can't work out what you want to do, but so it works out with the colour that you're mixing with. You'll tend to find this one is the most popular. It runs out quickly, so make sure that you get this one more than any other. You also can use both of these with bleach. This will lighten very slowly. This will obviously go a little bit quicker, and then obviously as we go up the chart it goes quicker. So 9% can be used with bleach. It's 30 volumes, and what this does with tint, when mixed with tint, it lightens 3 shades, so it doesn't darken. This only lightens hair. And right at the very top we have got the 12%, which is 30 volume. Very hardly use this. You can use it with bleach, but I tend to not, because I find that it damages the hair very quickly. So I'd rather use 9% and leave it on longer than trying to rush it with 12% and really damaging the client's hair. However, this is really popular because it does get used with high lift tints, which are suitable from bases 7, 8, 9 and 10, and it lightens high lift tint when mixed 2 to 1. It also lightens tint 4 shades. So if we just basically look at my chart here, we've got down the left hand side, we've got all your base colours, which goes here. We start off at 2. You have got a 1, which is black, and it goes all the way up to number 10, which is the lightest one. So these are your natural hair colours. These are not the hair colours that you dye. It has to be natural, your natural base colour. Over here I've got videos on this. This is my pre-pigmentation videos. If you wanted to have a look at how to pre-pig, go on to the pre-pigging videos as well and have a look at that. But this one here, this is the most important. So this is your base colours. Now when you look in the colour chart, this here is also your base colours. So this would correspond. Okay, so you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So they're your natural base colours. This is what hairdressers use to determine what strength of peroxide to use. But this, remember, this is your natural, your virgin hair. It is not the dyed hair. If you are dyeing your hair a base 8, the only thing that will ever lighten your hair is bleach. And this is what people who are not educated will not do. They would just stick on a lighter colour and hope that it goes that colour, which it won't do. So if you are naturally a base 8, you can then reach a base 9 by mixing a base 9 together with your chosen peroxide, which would be the 6%, as that lightens one shade. Going back to your colour chart, if you are a base 2 and you want to lighten 3 shades, 1, 2, 3 shades to a base 5, you would then mix your chosen colour with your chosen peroxide, which is your 9%. Now you will need to follow the manufacturer's instructions, as this will tell you your mixing ratio. Now your mixing ratio could be 1 to 1, 1 to 2, or it could be 1 to 1.5. If I take you over here, I've got a chart here which is your mixing ratio to 1 to 1.5. If you put in 5 grams of colour, you would mix in 8 grams of peroxide, and so forth. Normally for a regrowth tint we would use 20 grams of colour, so then we would put in 30 grams. However, if you were 1 to 1, you would do 20 grams of colour and 20 grams of peroxide. This here is another poster. It gives you your strengths of peroxides and what it does. Like I say, your main ones that you're going to use are the top 3. You will use the lowest strength, 2.7, which is used with dye colours. We normally use 3% now, which can be used with quasi colours as well. If you are mixing 1 to 2 with the high lift tints, then you would mix, for example, 10 grams of colour to 20 grams of peroxide. Some of you may be thinking, what are high lift tints? This is just a Majorelle colour chart, or a special blondes if you're using Weller. And these are the colours that people always point out, I want to be this blonde. So it does depend on their natural base, which needs to be a base 7, base 8, base 9, base 10. And you can either mix it with 6%, 9% or 12%, but it's all mixed 1 to 2. So if you're mixing a high lift tint, you need to put, for example, 10 grams of colour, 20 grams of peroxide, which will be normally 12%, or you can go down. It just depends how bright the client wants it. So these are the special blondes. Obviously, if you want to go lighter than this, then the colour that you do need to use is the bleach. Okay, this is just a really cheap bleach. This is Schwarzkopf. Any bleach powder will do. Inside the bleach, this says it lifts up to 7 levels, which I don't believe, but inside this is blue. And I always help my students by putting a ring around it, so they fill the bowl of, fill the spatula up to the line, for example, and then they mix in 30 grams of their chosen peroxide strength, and then that should be a good mixing ratio. Apply it to the highlights, and then when we wash off the highlights, we would then apply a toner. This here is one of my favourite. It's the Weller Perfecton. This is the /8, which is pearl. Very simple. You squeeze the colour, which comes out the top. You don't need to use that much. 5, maybe 10. Mix it with some water, warm water. So you're going to do 2 shampoos and conditioners, and then apply your toner, which will be this at the end. It's very similar to like mixing orange juice with water. Your cordial, the more orange juice you put in, the stronger it will taste, and this is exactly the same. So round the front you might find that it grabs purple because it's really fragile hair around the hairline, so always do it in stages, especially if it's the first time doing it on that client, because every client's hair is slightly different. So this is your range of your colour theory using your peroxide strengths. Remembering this doesn't lighten, this just darkens the hair, and it also tones. This lightens 1 to 2 shades, it covers grey and it tones. This lifts 3 shades, this lifts 4 shades. So we've got 12, 9, 6 and 3. We've got bleach powder and we've got a toner. Colour charts are very different. This here is just a Majorelle colour chart, which shows you all the different tints that you could choose. And you've got to remember, which is what all clients make the mistakes when they go into Superdrug or Boots and try and purchase a box colour, is that you cannot be one of these colours if you have artificial colour on your hair already. The only thing that will change will be your roots, not the rest. So in order for you to choose this colour, so say for example you're base 6 naturally and you want to put on this, which is the base 830, which is fine. Base 6 lifting up to a base 8, that's 2 shades only. We would use the 6% peroxide mixed with the 830, following the manufacturer's instructions, whether it's 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5. Mix it together and apply. That will work, but it won't work if your hair is already dyed. I hope this helps with your colour theory when choosing colours.